The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of Paranormal Buzz Radio or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is strictly prohibited. For information on everything Paranormal Buzz Radio has to offer, visit our website, paranormalbuzzradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Exploring the Unknown with Rebecca and Shay. Taking stories from today's news, Rebecca and Shay will explore everything from the paranormal, supernatural, the strange and unusual, unsolved mysteries, and more. Join them as they delve deep into the unknown and mysterious. Taken from news headlines. Water cooler chat with a paranormal twist. Only on Paranormal Buzz Radio. Hey everybody, happy Sunday. Welcome to Exploring the Unknown. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing, Shay?
I'm hanging in there. Like I say every week.
I think that's all we're all doing right now. It's just kind of hanging in there.
Hanging in, hanging out. We got a new game.
Oh, yeah? What'd you get?
5-second rule. We saw it on Ellen, which I don't normally watch the Ellen show, but she had celebrities playing it. And it looked great, so we got it. We had fun. We've played it a couple times this week.
Oh, that's fun. How does it work?
You have 5 seconds to name 3 things of whatever the card is that's being read.
Well, that could be fun.
Yeah, but they keep voting me off the island because they don't like my answers.
What? They don't like your answers?
Yep. Like, one of them was... It's a daytime show. But one of them was, name 3 stains that are hard to get out. So I said, you have 5 seconds. I said, I don't know, mustard, oil, and sperm. And they're like, that don't count. And they wouldn't let me get the point. I'm like, ask Monica Lewinsky.
Right?
So, but it was fun.
Well, my first thought is blood. So anyway.
I can't even remember the first 2 I said, but 5 seconds goes quick.
Oh, yeah. No kidding. No kidding. That sounds like a fun game, though.
It is. Check it out. I highly recommend it. And you can play it with all ages, you know. Unless I'm playing, then it has to be 18 up.
Yeah, because I went and cleaned out my rental cabin this weekend, getting it ready to go for the season, and I had to go through and pull all the games out of there because part of having the rental, I have to go through it and disinfect between every single guest.
Yep. And
so I have to disinfect anything they could have touched. So, like for a board game, I would have had to disinfect all the pieces, and I just don't think they were going to hold up to being constantly disinfected. So
I better take them out for now. Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, and all the books would have to have been disinfected. And I'm just like, well, I just don't think they would hold up to that. And I'm not really sure how well I'd be able to disinfect them, and so I just took them all out. But
yeah, and each page and.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think through on that. So maybe I need to think about different games that could be disinfected.
I'll have to think about it for you.
I think everybody is doing this rethinking thing of different things, just going through and rethinking of everything.
You have to. You really have to. It's new and different, so...
Yeah, it's definitely, I know I'm not the only one who has had to go through and rethink those type of things, so.
Especially if you have public properties like that, rentals or haunted locations or the wedding venues, everything. You have to rethink business, rethink everything.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to go through and rethink everything in mind to being a germaphobe, I guess. If we weren't germaphobes before, we are now, right?
Exactly.
Let's see, what article do we have today, Shay?
Oh.
Winchester Mystery House?
Yes, that's right.
So this one is 14 haunting facts about the Winchester Mystery House. This is by Christy Pachuco. Anyway, this was written February 2nd of 2018, and it's on mental floss. So here goes. Despite the Winchester Mystery House's cheerful appearance, this massive California mansion's history is edged with tragedy, mystery, and maybe some ghosts. Naturally, it has inspired a chilling horror movie, Winchester, which opens in theaters today. Granted, this was 2018, so It's probably out in Netflix or something now.
Oh, it's everywhere. Yep.
Okay. But before you go to the movie theater, wander through the curious past of one of America's most infamous homes. Number 1. The Winchester House is named for its mistress, Sarah Lockwood Winchester, the wife of gun magnate William Wirt Winchester, whose family created the Winchester rifle that was heralded as the gun that won the West, designed and oversaw the construction of the sprawling Queen Anne-style Victorian mansion that bears her name. Construction on the 24,000 square foot home, which is located at 525 South Winchester Boulevard in San Jose, California, began in 18 weeks fixed. Number 2. Many believe Sarah built the Winchester house out of fear. Overcome with grief in the wake of her husband's death from tuberculosis in 1881, folklore states that Sarah sought out a spiritualist who could commune with the dead. While she was presumably looking for solace or closure, she was instead given a chilling warning. Through the medium, William told his widow that their tragedies, the couple had only one child, a daughter named Annie, who died at 6 weeks old, were a result of the blood money the family had made off the Winchester rifles. He warned that vengeful ghosts would seek her out. In order to protect herself, William said that Sarah must build a home for herself and for the spirits who have fallen from this terrible weapon. Sarah was advised to leave their home in New Haven, Connecticut behind and move west, where she was to build a grand home for the spirits. There was just one catch. Construction on the house could never stop. If you continue building, you will live, the medium warned Sarah. Stop and you will die. Number 3.
I didn't realize. Sorry, I interrupted you, but
go ahead.
I knew the medium thing. I don't know if I ever heard that it was her actual husband. I thought it was the haunting. I thought it was.
Well, and this is a folklore thing. They have never actually proved this. I had listened to an interview with somebody, I don't know, a while ago, and they said that this was never actually proven. This is just a folklore story about the whole medium thing. So
right. But I never heard the part about it being her husband. I thought it was the ghosts that were haunting them, or the medium coming through with it. I didn't realize it was her husband giving the message.
Yeah. It makes for a good tale, I will say that. Yep. So whether that one's true or not, I don't know, but it does make for a good story.
Yep. She was into psychics and mediums and all that stuff, though. That is truth. She really was into it. Right.
Yeah, I mean, we'll go on to...
Yeah, there's some more thoughts. And
there's more.
Yeah.
The number 3, the house is under construction for 38 years. In 1886, Sarah purchased an 8-room farmhouse in San Jose, California, and began building. She employed a crew of carpenters who split shifts so construction would go on day and night, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year for 38 years. The work only stopped on September 5th, 1922, because the octogenarian mastermind behind the home died of heart failure in her sleep. It's said that upon hearing the news of Sarah's death, the carpenters quit so abruptly, they left half-hammered nails protruding from the walls. Number 4, the house is full of architectural oddities. Sarah issued many bizarre demands to her builders, including the building of trapdoors, secret passages, a skylight in the floor, spiderweb windows, and staircases that led to nowhere. There are also doors that open to blank walls and a dangerous door on the second floor that opens out into nothing, save for an alarming drop to the yard far below. Number 5, an earthquake once rattled the house and trapped Sarah. In 1906, the Great San Francisco earthquake caused 3 floors of the then 7-story house to cave in. A 1900 postcard of the place shows a tower that was later toppled by the natural disaster. That tower, plus several other rooms destroyed in the disaster, were never rebuilt, but cordoned off. As for Sarah, she was safe, but stuck in the Daisy bedroom, named for the floral motif in its windows. She had to be dug out by her staff, as its entrance was blocked off by rubble. Number 6, the house was designed like a labyrinth. Some say the labyrinth layout was meant to confuse the ghosts, allowing Sarah some peace and a means to escape them. She was the sole architect of this extraordinary home, and no master building plan has ever been uncovered. So Sarah may be the only person who ever truly knew all of its secrets. When movers were called in after her death, one lamented its labyrinthine design that includes many winding hallways. One mover told American Weekly the Winchester house was a place where downstairs led neither to the cellar nor upstairs to the roof. Number 7, some say the symbols in the house point not to ghosts, but to Francis Bacon. An alternate theory on the Winchester house's perplexing design declares that Sarah was creating a puzzle full of encryptions inspired by the work of English philosopher Francis Bacon. There's a speculation that clues to the house's true meaning are hidden in the ballroom, the Shakespeare windows, and the iron gates. The theory suggests that Sarah was a member of a mystic society like the Rosicrucians. I've never heard of that before. Or a secret society like the Freemasons, or possibly both. Number 8, there are other theories, including that Sarah was crazy. Others speculate Sarah was coping with her grief in a flurry of activity, or that she was simply crazy. However, Winchester Mystery House historian Janin Boheme paints a happier picture, imagining that the continued renovations reminded Sarah of the good times when she and William built their New Haven home together. I think Sarah was trying to repeat that experience by doing something they both loved, Boheme told the Los Angeles Times. She also suspects that Sarah was just an ardent, albeit eccentric, philanthropist who used her family fortune to purposely employ the San Jose community. She had a social conscience, and she did try to give back, Boheme offered, noting the hospital Sarah built in her husband's name. The house in itself was her biggest social work of all. Number 9, once in the Winchester house, Sarah was reclusive, but not alone. There is only one known photo of the widow Winchester, which was taken surreptitiously. Although she was reclusive, she was never alone. She had 18 servants, 18 gardeners, and the ever-present construction team working on the grounds. Every morning, Sarah met with the foreman to discuss the always-evolving building plans, and it said that each night she visited the seance room to speak with the spirits, who weighed in on plans for the house's unusual design. Number 10, the house was as opulent as it was odd. The home boasts 950 doors, 10,000 windows, 40 stairways, 52 skylights, 47 fireplaces, 6 kitchens, plus a trio of elevators, and once groundbreaking elements like wool insulation, carbide gas lights, electricity, and an indoor shower complete with a sewage drainage system. Number 11, no one is sure how many houses the rooms held. How many rooms the house held? Good Lord. Following Sarah's death, Winchester House was converted into a tourist attraction. But when trying to keep a room count, the new owners kept coming up with different numbers. After 5 years of renovations, they estimated the number of rooms to be about 160, which is the number most often quoted today. Number 12, Sarah had an obsession with the number 13. Among the secrets Sarah took with her to the grave is why she insisted that so many things relate to the number 13. The Winchester house has many 13-paneled windows and 13 paneled ceilings, as well as 13-step stairways. Even her will had 13 parts, and she signed it 13 times. But the piece de resistance might be the house's 13th bathroom, which contains 13 windows of its own. Number 13 is the National Landmark. The Winchester Mystery House earned landmark status on August 7, 1974. The fascinating mansion is still owned by the families who purchased it from the Winchester estate in 1922 for $150,000. However, their identity is another Winchester house mystery. But thanks to them, tourists can now explore the 110 of the 160-some rooms Sarah dreamed up. The Winchester Mystery House even boasts special tours on Halloween and Fridays the 13th. Number 14. It's regularly cited as one of the most haunted places in America. To this day, Winchester House is a destination for believers who hope to have a paranormal encounter of their own. A popular spot for such activity is the corridors of the third floor, where a tour guide can claim to hear footsteps and disembodied voices whisper their names. In a Reddit AMA, a Winchester House tour guide confirmed that the house's third floor, only a portion of which is accessible during house tours, is definitely the spookiest part of the house, because that's where the servants lived. So there's been a lot of reported activity there. Also, when you are on that floor, you can never really hear any of the other tours, so you feel pretty isolated. So, yeah, the Winchester Mystery House, I think, is really cool. I really want to go there one day and check it all out. It sounds totally fascinating.
It is on my top 5 bucket list always. My bucket list changes a lot, but that is one that's always on it.
Yeah, I can see why. It's on mine, too, because it's such an interesting place. It's just, like, totally fascinating. The story behind it, whether it's true or not, is really interesting.
Yeah, I've read so much about it. I don't know if it's because I want to or not. I can't, but I kind of almost believe it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could be true. It could be not. I mean, it's hard to say. It's just,
yeah,
like I said, it's just pretty fascinating. The whole folklore part of it, even, is just fascinating.
I would love to go.
Yeah, me too.
I was going to ask you if you've ever been.
No, sadly, I have not been. But again, bucket list. Hopefully, one day.
So I have an interesting story, kind of related. If you want to hear it.
Sure.
I think 3 years ago we did a trip, like a week-long trip to Connecticut. And we checked out all these haunted locations, and that's why we went for the week, was to do this, Nicole and I. And we went to, I believe it's called Evergreen Cemetery. It's in New Haven, Connecticut, where they are buried.
Oh, that's interesting.
The husband, her, and the baby, Annie, and the rest of the family, but they're in one plot together. And I have pictures all over both pages. It's just Paranormal. We have tons of pictures, videos. We did a whole video on it.
Yeah.
And it's actually said to be haunted. It's one of the most haunted places, depending on who you ask. Hint, hint.
Right.
Cemeteries in New Haven, but not because of the Winchesters.
Oh, really?
Because of this Midnight Mary, which we'll save that for a different show.
Yeah.
But this is why I'm telling it. So Nicole and I spent hours, most of the day, at this cemetery doing daytime investigation and pictures and,
Yeah, I know.
And
I know.
So then we went and took a dinner break. Nothing bad happened while we were there. Nothing. Nothing at all. So we took a break and we stopped by another one, and then we waited till nighttime and went back, and we were going to start over by the Winchester side. It's a huge cemetery. I can't even explain it. Different levels. So we started by theirs, and this has never happened to us before. We're parked right in front of the Winchester site.
Yeah.
And we both just sit there. Nobody gets out of the car. Neither one of us say a word. We're just sitting there. And next thing we know, 10 minutes has gone by. And I'm like freaking out. It just felt like something was staring at you. Like,
really?
Like, this was like severe. This has never happened to us before. But then I'm like, wait a minute, she's not moving either. Like, now at least 10 minutes have gone by, and I'm like, and we're both like almost got our hand on the door handles this whole time, and we're both just sitting there. And I forget who said it first, but it just didn't feel right. I always say, I don't know if it was ghosts or people, but there was danger. You could just...
I've been on a couple of investigations like that where there was just a strong feeling of, I am not supposed to be here. And we've always, when we get that feeling, we've always just left because
it's the only time it's ever happened. And we did. Finally, like I said, I forget who said what, but it was just like a sense of panic, like a sense of danger. Like every ounce of my body was saying, get out, get out. Not of the, get out of the cemetery. Leave.
Right.
Even though you're trying to convince yourself. And my sister Nicole is not afraid of anything. Like a guy with a gun could walk up to her and she probably wouldn't be as afraid as she was. So, we left.
I'm the one who, oh, this house is haunted. Let's go in. Turn off the lights. We don't need those. I'm with you there, Shay.
Yeah.
So I'm usually pretty good. But there's been a few times where I've just been like, and we're not supposed to go in there, and we're not. Yeah. So
we decided, number one, because it had never happened to us before. So we're like, if both of us are feeling the same exact way without saying a single word, we're like, no, let's just leave. So we did, and since then we've decided if either one of us ever feel that way again, now it's been talked about, like, we'll just leave. Just the other person has to speak up, or it was the weirdest experience.
That's interesting, though. Yeah, I've like I said, there's been a couple times where there was one, we're so excited to go because it's not open for investigation. We did get permission to go there, and we hiked a mile through a wooded path to get to this place after dark. So it's like 9-10 o'clock at night. We walked a mile on this path to get to this place. And we got back there, and it was just an overwhelming sense of, you're not supposed to be here. And we stayed for a little bit. We kind of did a vague attempt at investigation, but we ended up leaving because it was just overwhelming. You're not supposed to be here things.
Yep. So listen to your bodies, people. If something is telling you to leave, no investigation's worth it.
No, I agree 100%. No investigation is worth it. You can always go back at a different time, or just, walk away sometimes.
Have you ever seen pictures of her site, of her grave?
No, I have not. I'm gonna have to go look at your.
I'll send it to you. I'll post it. I'll post it on the in the group too. But
I would like to see that.
I'll send you a couple. We have hundreds of pictures of this place, but and I'll post a couple in the group for people to say. Beautiful grave site, though.
Oh, I bet when you've got money like that, you could make a beautiful gravesite. Yep. Especially when, she had money and she was grieving that hard. She would make it beautiful.
Mm-hmm. One thing before I forget that I did want to point out about the story was it said how she never had the same group of people working on at least the same part. So one person would do one thing and somebody else would come in and do something else. So this is why the workers didn't even know what was going on. It was switching all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, because this article says that they, had two separate crews, but...
No, there was more. She rotated them. I think there was a day crew and a night crew, but they were different people all the time.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because otherwise, you can't have one construction worker build a whole room, or else he would know she would know all the secrets of that room. So she had different people in and out.
Yeah, it's interesting, to think about why she would go to that length of secrecy on on building, this thing. Because there was a level of secrecy that she had with this that she, obviously, I mean, even today, we just don't know exactly why she did what she did. So there had to have been some sort of underlying thing. I mean, whether it was like a secret society or a level of crazy, I mean, it's just fascinating.
I don't think she was crazy. I don't. I think she might have been my level of crazy, but she had money, so they called it eccentric.
Right, exactly. I think the tour guide thing where she was wanting to help out people, using it as kind of like a charity. This house might have.
That's the story I least believe, or the opinion I least believe. Personally.
Yeah.
Because if she really just wanted to, she would have been building other things or things that made sense.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, there's something to like helping out people who, want to help out.
Yeah, but don't you think if you're hiring people just to hire them, wouldn't you make what they're making make more sense? There had to have been a reason in her brain to do it the way she did it.
Yeah. Yeah, true. No.
We'll never know now.
Yeah, exactly. We'll never know for sure now,
but it's fun to speculate.
It is. It is a lot of fun to speculate. I think that's, part of the whole fascination of the whole mystery house and why it's so popular to go visit.
Yep. And someday I will get there.
Kind of like Stonehenge, where you're like, okay, if I go, I'll figure it out,
Oh, I'm smart enough to know I'm dumb enough that I'll never figure these places out. That's the truth.
Oh, well, I don't know. I always think maybe if I go, I'll be the one thing that everybody else has missed, because, I don't know.
Not me. Other things, yes, but no. I didn't even make a complete sentence. That didn't even make sense. I knew what I meant in my head, but... So.
Well, I don't know.
Either.
Okay, guys, I think our time's up. So thanks for listening. And if you have any comments that you want to make, go ahead and find us in the Facebook group.
Yes, the Facebook group is Exploring the Unknown with Rebecca and Shay. And if you have any comments or you want to share a story with us, make sure you share it. If we read your story on air, we will give you a special shout out.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Happy Sunday.